My friends, my compatriots, this is the end of the line, because today we're going to have the last video of our Serbia campaign. Not necessarily because, well, it needs to end here. I think we could have 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes still in us, but I'll be honest with you, great things are awaiting us, and those great things are very obviously the full release of 1.5. I'm really excited to get into that, and that is why I want to give it an honorable ending to the Serbia series, so that we have, at least some degree of closure. As the very first thing, I think it is very self-evident that today we're gonna jump into the civil war that is currently brewing between the conservatives and reactionaries, and of course our more liberal forces. In case you forgot, we are fighting the aristocracy and of course the church, both of which are being opposed by our current, just bourgeois, I guess, leadership. But of course, this is not the end. In the actual government right now are outright communists. Communists that admittedly are very well liked. I mean, this man right here, Radomir Konstantinovic, was in a position where he essentially won the war against the Ottomans, the last one that freed Bulgaria and that freed, of course, Macedonia and Albania as well. We're going to bring them to glory today, and after that, after the monarchists are defeated, the big question will be, what now? Yeah, I mean, you can say what you will, but this battle right here, this defeat, this progression is there's just nothing that can be opposed here. Bosnia is an important part of our country, no doubt about it. They are fairly wealthy. They have a lot of jobs, they have much of our industry, but realistically speaking, this war was never even a choice for them. I would even argue, quite frankly, that if you take a look at the clout right here in Bosnia, that this is something where the aristocracy essentially paid mercenaries to fight for them. Because, well, the population most certainly leans much more into a radicalized but a modern direction. Communism or the industrialists. And oh man, we are looking at round 2 between the NGF and Austria, and we've been chipping away on the Ottomans. This has to be said, we've definitely been incredibly active here, and we are not there quite yet, but I will in 11 months declare war against Bulgaria and hopefully make them a protectorate. But listen, all of that aside, we have a war now for the NGF where they want to free the SGF and take Moravia. Doesn't make the most beautiful borders, but let's put that aside. Austria may actually be a valid target. I am looking at this right now and I actually think it may be a valid target, not to mention that they are of course also sabotaging the world revolution by attacking the United Syndicates of America, although I have my doubts that they can win this. Man, maybe I'm a bit too quick here, okay? But we are already incredibly radical in our government form. We are incredibly radical and irredentist in the government that we have, whether we want to be bourgeoisie or whether we want to be the workers. We have an unbelievable nationalist zeal that is currently coming with the South Slavs. This also has to be said, by the way. Our nationalism is at least a bit different compared to, our Italian playthrough or even our Spanish playthrough, because we are a country with cultural exclusion. We simply believe that Yugoslavia, that Serbia, is the future rather than, a state such as Austria, an old reactionary state. I'm gonna go ahead. This could ruin us, but I'm gonna go ahead and I at least want to claim this coastline. I would love to claim even more, but at the very least, I want to go ahead and claim this coastline. You know what? The opportunity, I think, is perfect right here. I'm gonna wait a bit longer until they actually are at war, and then we're gonna jump in. Alright, let's take a look at this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if things are looking good, I might go a bit further than maybe sensible, okay? We could advise Greece and the Ottomans. No, neither of those are happening. I'm just gonna be honest with you. There is no cooperation in this direction, especially because I kind of still want to eat all this land. But more importantly, this is a fight for us. This is who we are as a country. I want to say as a nation, but I think Yugoslavia is true to form here. We are completely non-discriminatory. Yes, we have nationalism, but it is a different nationalism from, for example, the playthroughs in Italy, in Germany, in Spain that we have done in the past. This is a nationalism that primarily says we should self-rule. When we look at the Austrians, we see a reactionary empire that has re-established itself after overthrowing itself, but it basically went from reactionary to reactionary. I mean, think about it. Yes, they have a different Kaiser, but he's a Kaiser, and more importantly, I think he's a Wittelsbach. Absolutely disgusting. What we're gonna do here, and I see that everybody else is neutral, I might push it a bit further here than I assumed we would be pushing it. Okay, we're gonna go for Croatia, and then we're gonna go for Slavonia. We can actually do this. Oh my god, that is dangerous. I am playing with fire here. But if we could get all those territories, we would actually become Yugoslavia, and our future would all of a sudden be completely open. It has to be considered as well. I have a lot going on here with machine gunners as well, for example. I think initially we will just defend, but this is going to be our fight. We either come out victoriously here and then have Austria in front of us as basically a destroyed country, or we lose it all here. We are currently relatively radical. We are either communist or bourgeois, but the lesson here is both of them are very irredentist. Both of them believe that Austria needs to go. And oh my god, Austria has actually recognized who we are, what we do, what makes us so dangerous. They want to liberate Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, and Montenegro. They quite literally want to completely destroy Serbia. They want to end the dream of Yugoslavia, not to mention HUGE-O-SLAVia. This really is the fight for our existence here. We're gonna play it defensive, I think, at the very start, because, I mean, it depends, actually, on how many troops they can actually send our way. Should they be too preoccupied with the North Germans, then hey, even better for us. And oh my god, look at that. The Americans have actually landed here as well. Venice is under American control right now, and while they are going to be fighting very, I think, oh yeah, oh man, maybe the Americans can actually hold just with what they have. They do have Yankee trench infantry, and oh my god, the stats are in their favor. We're gonna see about this. If the Yankees can keep them busy here, then, I mean, our front line should be a bit of a cakewalk. And oh man, Presidential Republic just passed, which means that I can up our taxes again, don't worry about it too much. And which also means the winner of the next election has so much more power. Because the president, all of a sudden, will be in the position of, you know, giving us the most legitimacy. And right now, it does appear as though the Communist Party is going to win, but it is a very close race. They may get the most votes, which gives them the presidency, but it's not a majority. And most importantly, I think the Liberal Party is so close that even a single swing could turn this around 100%. And oh my god, I gotta tell you, and I'm actually a big fan of this, because you couldn't really have this previously. All the stacks would just completely annihilate you when they get the chance to arrive at your location. But since they have to split their forces right now, since Austria is literally besieged by all sides, I mean, look at this, the NGF, the Americans, although the Austrians started that war, and then us, they are in a position where we are superior in numbers. I mean, that is insane, that is absolutely mad, and we are showing them what it means to lose. We're destroying them on the defense here, and we're winning on the offense. I may get everything that I'm asking for. Let's hope that it actually works out, because the alternative is pretty bad. See, and it is this moment where I wish that we already were in the full beta, because we now have a navy, and the navy isn't great, don't get me wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that if we were to raid convoys, we could come out ahead. I mean, just looking at their navy, what do they actually have? Nope, that is trench infantry. Oh, no, we would get completely pummeled. Okay, listen, fair enough. The Austrian navy is way bigger than mine, so even if it worked in this open beta, it wouldn't do me any favors. Did the Liberal Party actually just split? What actually happened here? They are significantly weaker. The Communist Party is now very clearly in the lead, and the Social Democratic Party is quite respectable. The Red Menace, the rise of communism in powerful countries like the United Syndicates of America, has become a talking point in the Liberal Party election campaign, warning against a similar homegrown movement. I mean, we've declared in the last video just how aggressive we want to be. Workers of the world unite was the actual motto of our communists here. It is no secret that the communists seek an international revolution. The American regime may topple any day now, but that does not mean that we can take the threat of another government falling lightly. Whether they call themselves democratic socialists or syndicalists or any of these other products of leftist factionalism, they are all a threat to Serb values. We could say we want to strengthen the Liberal Party, or the international workers' movement cannot be stopped by parliamentarians. Ah, indeed. I think you have to take a look at it from this way. Our nationalism has always been a multicultural nationalism. It was, for the largest time, driven by religion, but no matter how we look at it, it was always, under all circumstances, driven by the idea that we stand together as one in a new state to come. Whether this state is a monarchy or a theocracy or a republic or maybe a council republic was always up for debate. It was an element of our nationalism. Now that the United States, the United Syndicates of America, are landing in Venice, directly aiding our war effort, I mean, for sure, This would directly strengthen our election here for the communists. And yeah, look at them go. 43% of the vote. Now that is what I'm talking about. Socialist demagogue. Look who showed up. Radomir Konstantinovich of the armed forces is rapidly gaining popularity among the people. The radical socialist message of equality he espouses is proving especially appealing to the lower classes. And those are very well educated, and yet, I mean, look at that. They are not in a good position. I assume that this should give us another boost. No boost? Oh, I'm actually very surprised there. Let me take a look at this, right? I think this guy, yeah, he's the actual leader. He's now at 100 popularity. Ooh, powerful. And there you go. The election results are in. Let me just check this here, right? We could rule. Oh my god. We could rule with the petite bourgeoisie. Together with them. Or alternatively, and I almost want to say that this is probably the smarter choice here. Let me just actually look at this. Enactment time plus 25% is horrid. Allying with the petite bourgeoisie. For what reason would we do this? I mean, that is the big question here, right? We are a fairly stable government as is. We could just go with workers' protections. And now that is not bad. That is not bad at all. Long term, obviously, this right here is where we want to go. But for the time being, I mean, I would love militarized police force if we knew what that was. We sadly don't actually have any idea right now. Why can't I choose any of these laws? The intelligentsia are in favor of it. What does it cost me to rule with them again? Can we pull that off? It doesn't actually change anything about our government status, so nothing effectively changes. I will work rather with the Social Democrats than, well, with the other nerds. And then obviously we're going to move towards public schools, etc., etc. I will disempower the church once and for all, because the church is the backbone of the petite bourgeoisie. And once that is done, we can actually move forward. Oh, and the Americans have been kicked out of Venice, but I don't think that will help them. The Germans don't seem to be winning here in the north, but we are winning. Croatia is falling already. We have taken a whole bunch of the state. And now they're bringing some more troops in, but yeah, it's just not gonna be enough. We are actually gonna come out as the winners of this. Oh my god, I love, by the way, that the AI actually chose these war goals. Again, I made that AI strategy, but yeah, I love when they do that, because all it means is I actually am at risk here of being completely declawed. I want to highlight one thing that unifies us all, and that is special about this particular playthrough. Serbian infantry, Albanian infantry, Croatian infantry, Bosniak infantry, Ukrainian infantry. They're all here. We are standing as one. This is a people's war. Very early on, to defend our country, we had to go mass mobilization, and we never changed it. And we can see the effects of this right now. This is one unified country, regardless of ethnical or even religious differences at this point, working together to bring about its own vision. Now you can see the people of old are still here. They are still very unhappy. And the country is still in disarray, don't get me wrong here. But after we win this war, we will be a new nation. Well, well, well. The Sacred Union, event for the revolutionary movement to preserve religious schools. With war consuming the nation, we can and must try to bury our differences. A call to defend our nation may do much to calm down the unrest at home. Although we will have to offer something to our opponents to get them to fully buy in. In war we shall find peace. We get a lot of political strength here for a lot of different unions, but everybody approves for 2 years. This is literally it. This is where we are and who we are as a country right now. A united front, a Burgfrieden if you will, has never existed in Serbia until now. In our great struggle, the nation calls upon all her sons to step forth and defend their families, and calls for all party leaders to come forward and pledge that we shall strive on together until the day of victory. This sacred union will not falter, will not break in the face of hardship and hostility. Wow, and just as we do that, of course, the war's over. My friends, we have won. Never before has something like this existed. A union between the peoples of these lands, and a union without discrimination. Can you believe that? And if I'm not mistaken, nope, that's the wrong one. Oh, we're short one? Wait a minute, we're short one. Oh my god, it makes so much sense. We're almost there. We are almost there. And oh my god, the South German Federation is red. They are independent. It actually, I don't even know how they did that, but it happened. Ooh, and maybe the French Commune is actually going to win, but hey, all of that aside, the German sphere just changed significantly. Austria has been completely demolished. No surprise there. I mean, we took very valuable territory and they lost their dominion. Unbelievable. What the hell just happened here? Oh my god, I know what happened here. Austria is the sole leadership candidate and they actually just did a unify play and France and the SGF folded. Oh my god. That is disgusting. And yet it's so beautiful. Wow. Now we, by the way, are going to be facing another revolt. I can't interpret this in any other way than, yeah, indeed, the rage of those that used to be in power. I mean, we used to be a theocracy here. It has to be really pointed out. But none of it matters. We will easily crush it, and once we did that, we will continue on our path. I'm just gonna say it. It's time. Folks, it is over for the Orthodox Church here in Serbia. Oh, and check out what is happening right here. The Heavenly Kingdom, after all, is rebelling in the Great Qing. I think the Qing has this. I mean, the Qing is in a very powerful spot since they never actually got challenged. But then again, oh my god, the territory that just rebelled took as much GDP from them as they built up from 1836 to now. Oof, that hurts. I do want to point out, by the way, that we have this movement right here, Enact Council Republic, and it's huge. I mean, look at this. 1.41 million individuals would become more loyal if we pass this, and the reason here is obviously good. I mean, our message is that this republic, this communism has led us to greatness. It has led us into a position where we are this big and where maybe we can slowly but surely start looking towards an actual improvement in standard of living. And please take notes. The people clearly agree. I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, and we're gonna introduce indeed the trade unions to our government right here. They currently have a social democrat. Hey, be that as it may, it is what it is. All right, folks, state atheism has passed. Now let me take a look at this. We have 20, oh my god, no we don't. We have 9.51% as atheists. That's nothing. Everybody else is now discriminated. The big thing now is, I need them. I need them to convert, okay? That's a real big one. Because this is going to make a lot of people very unhappy. My big hope is, if we look at this, man, that is not enough right now. That number, yeah, bring that number up. These are rookie numbers. I need way more atheists. Let's hope that that actually proceeds fairly quickly. Okay, I gotta tell you, honestly, the number's shooting up now. I'm a huge fan of that. Okay, so people are now turning towards atheism. I hope that this is going to work out, but this should have, for once and for all, broken the back of the Orthodox Church. They are done. The last thing that I really want to do here before we maybe do something more radical is pass universal suffrage, making it so that the poorest of our society can vote. It should be incredibly smart if you have a communist cause. We are already in power, but we need to cement power, and different from, for example, fascists or other reactionaries, we're not actually going and already building, a one-party state or a very powerful dictatorship. We are building a state that is entirely constructed under the premise of giving power to the worker, because the workers here are very literate, although that, has gone down a bit since we integrated more territories. And with them being very literate, we are now in a position where, we can hope for their support if we just push enough. All right, and now that we did this, the question is what comes next? Council Republic seems intuitive, but definitely a civil war right now. Whether that is what we want, I'm not entirely certain. We could go with women's suffrage entirely because the actual movement currently would allow us to do it. The trade unions and intelligentsia are against it. Who the hell are you guys? We could alternatively go with public health insurance, but honestly, I think we're good. I think what we're gonna do instead is simply change taxation, maybe? Oh my god, we would earn less. We would earn less. Okay, you know what? I know what we're doing. We're doing this one. We are pushing the power of the workers by giving them more money. That's the way to go here, I think. And oh my god, you know who's also on their way to go? Communist Italy. And I don't have an interest in their region. We inherited a lot of the Austrian Navy, which is really good. Not that I'm really gonna use it, but it also just means I didn't assign my interest because I didn't realize it. And now I'm in a position where, damn, I can't help them. I can try to subsidize them, but I don't actually have the money. Chairman Domenico Sanfelice. Oh my god, the greatest man of them all. Can he actually do it? I'm not sure. Oh, and look at that. So, Council Republic, they also would have rebelled. But now that we're in a position where they are rebelling over workers' protections, if they do it, I would love to take this rebellion. We would crush it, and it would be such a good justification because they are working with the landowners. Yeah, the way I see this, listen, if this is the hill that you want to die on, let me be your guest. Let's do this. Yeah, and I think communism in Italy isn't gonna work. I am so sad about this. I am so unbelievably sad. We couldn't even have helped even if we wanted to, but that is depressing. That would have been such a strong axis here. French Commune, Communist Italy, and us. Oh boy. Oh, but the Americans are supporting them. I beg you. I need you to actually do this. Holy moly. I want to be a fly on the wall between the Americans and the Italians. And why did the French Commune not come and aid? Oh, you traitors. And what do we have here? Greed is good. Veljko Bozanovic and the industrialists of northern Serbia have delivered a declaration of intent. All industry production to cease until an amenable government is installed. A hostile takeover in the simplest terms is when a large company acquires a smaller company against the small company's wishes. To a big enough business, an obstructive government is just another company to be incorporated. Except now that business can write all the rules. Just look at the East India Trading Company. I will send in the jackboots. I would love to destroy them right here, but I'm gonna dominate them first. I mean, listen, we will nationalize this economy if it is for the good of the people of this country. Listen, folks, what can I say? I love crushing my enemies in revolution. And the time to do it here is nigh again. Let's destroy the industrialists because this was the last stopgap measure before we could do what we are here to do. And oh my god. The United Sovereign Archduchy now exists because they just had regime change enforced upon them by Austria. I think we're gonna see a bit of a civil war here. Oh my god, this is wonky. Emperor Phineas Hunt. I don't think he has a future. I just don't see it. I mean, vanguardist, communist, vanguardist, radical? I mean, okay, fair enough. Reformer? I don't see it. Yep, this is not gonna last. And oh my god, during the election of 1903, we just passed universal suffrage. And just look at this. The Radical People's Party was doing so well, equally well as the Communist Party, and now they're nothing. The Social Democratic Party and the Communist Party shot up into infinity. I know where we are headed. Let me tell you, I know where we are headed. Who the hell is this guy? President Piero Rochard is a Franco-Provençal and he rules the United Belgian States. Oh my god, what the hell happened over here? What is this? This is me in Italy, but in Belgium. Well, alright, my friends, salute the troops. By which I of course mean salute the new chairman of our council republic. Things are about to change. Now, why can't I go for command economy? Oh, right. We're all kind of technically just communists and a social democrat, I guess. I wish we had an agitator here that I can promote, but we don't. Which means we are going to be democratic as it is right now. Let me double check this. If we move to cooperative ownership, we can also do collectivized agriculture, which sounds amazing to me. And I think that is like the closest. Public health insurance obviously matters as well. Taxation matters a lot. Oh, and you know what? I'm looking at this now. No, you know what? Let's switch to cooperative ownership and we'll go from there. We need to do the actual means of production ceasing before we can do anything else. We're on a run here. Let's just push it through. To celebrate our great achievement here, yeah, I think it's time, brother. The Egyptians are showing up to defend Bulgaria, and they're genuinely and unironically showing up with line infantry. That is not gonna go over well. I'm sorry. They're gonna get completely decimated in the first few fights, and we'll take it from there. Never should have come here. We're gonna do a regime change and, you know, make them a protectorate here in Bulgaria, creating a loyal and, of course, hopefully communist puppet as well. We really are now looking, by the way, at a containment squad when it comes to communism. Look at this. We have a communist Spanish rebellion and we have all of these people jump in immediately just to stop that from happening. people are afraid, I would say. And once more, my friends, salute the troops, for we now have cooperative ownership. And the big thing here now is that since we are bringing up minimum wage, the dividends will be relatively low, which probably means, oh, we could do industry band. I'm not gonna, but we could. Wait a minute, who leads you? Okay, it's a Social Democrat. It's not a Luddite. This could have been worse, but Social Democrats in themselves are already bad enough. What matters much, much more now is that we actually move towards something that makes a lot of sense in, terms of who we are. I think taxation is the next big thing. The big question is, which one of these do we choose? I do really like graduated taxation. Consumption tax rate here is it's actually the same for both of them. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and say graduated taxation, and then we're going to lean mostly, I think, on consumption tax, because our dividends rate is probably going to be relatively low since we are going to pay relatively high wages, although that could be relative. High wages to a Serbian worker here may not mean very low dividends. You know what, let's pass the fairest thing, and that obviously is graduated taxation. With this, we will for basically forever have completely destroyed the industrialists here in Serbia. Oh, okay, no, wait a minute, I know what just happened here. Oh, I'm not doing that. So the peasants became Social Democrat now. They were so important at the time that they thought we should form our own party, but then they lost all votes because obviously they didn't actually run for the last party. So now they're just willing to join up with the Social Democrats again. Curious. Ratko Aziz, it seems that you're a bit of an idiot, huh? Look who is getting cocky. The Ottomans are saying, give us Macedonia. No, I think I'm good. In fact, how about you give me Thessaly instead? I think that is a way better deal. Can you believe that? They actually asked us for Macedonia. Come on, man. How absolutely arrogant of them. Can I go ahead and liberate some interesting countries? Not really. Maybe some of the others here want some liberated countries. We'll see how it goes. Oh. I see now. I understand now why the Ottomans thought they could get this done. Well, there's only one thing to do now. We shall destroy Austria. Dude, I love graduated taxation. It is actually absolutely gorgeous. And the higher tax burden here doesn't even do that much for, of course, our employees, because they're mostly being paid in very high wages now. Whew. Now, we do have some shortages here, but nothing that is relevant to the war effort. I think I'm just going to defend up here for the time being. I am only asking for one thing from Austria in this, by the way. It's just Delvedek right here, because this will allow us to form Yugoslavia, and for me, most importantly, it makes it so that I don't go too high on my infamy. We may be communists, but we need some time to build socialism in one country before we can begin the world revolution. Bruh, just look at these numbers. Just look at these numbers. Insanity. I think we got this. We are a highly sophisticated empire that can do whatever the hell it wants. Oh my god, Mega Austria here with the SGF absorbed is not going to last for long. Looking at this now, looking at how these battles are going, I mean, look at this battle down here. This is genuinely disgusting. Even on the offensive, we are behaving like this. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I was maybe a bit too scared to go against Austria. We are gonna completely eviscerate both of them here. And they had it coming. Remember these days, for these are the last battles that we will ever have in the open beta. Next time we actually fully play this game, indeed, you guessed it, will be when the full release has come. But look at these numbers. We are annihilating them. But damn, we've really mellowed out. Our trade unions are indeed just led by a Social Democrat. And we are very successful at everything we do, but man... We are just social democratic. I guess it's like democratic socialism type of deal. Our communists are all gone. They had like this short wave and now they're just out of here. Behold, a masterpiece. We have arrived. Maybe not exactly at the conclusion of this playthrough, but we're damn close to it, let me tell you. Because this is what we can now do. We're still missing states, that much should be obvious, but I mean, we're powerful. And quite frankly, our economic potential right now is insane. Having the laws that we do, having a, very well-educated population that finally has some decent standard of living, will allow a HUGE-O-SLAVIA to be stronger than ever before. Obviously, we get claims and all this stuff. That is perfectly reasonable. We get national unifier for 19 years. Doesn't really matter all that much. And we are now incredibly, incredibly wealthy. We can now finally start building up the actual economy. And I don't have too many more goals. I do want to, consolidate my power here with Bulgaria. And obviously, I want to integrate what are to be integrated. Thessaly is one of these things. But we are on our way to glory, to beauty. It's happening. Excuse me? Is Austria actually going to try this again? Is it Russia? Oh my god. It's because they want Bulgaria. Let me just check out here what is going to happen in terms of this diplomatic play, okay? They did it so that Greece would immediately join their customs union. And Greece knew this, which is why they are actually declaring this war against us. Now, there's going to be a huge shock here. Until now, until we fully revealed communism in our country, we were a part of the Russian market. I will have to do a lot in terms of new trade routes to make things happen here, but... Greece, you just committed a major error. Like, oh my god. Can you believe that? What we're going to do is... I'm gonna make Greece a protectorate, yeah. I mean, I have to, right? All these uppity nerds. I cannot believe it. I'm gonna regime change you as well. You deserve all of this, and more, quite frankly. I will actually take this. I'm gonna take this deal. I'm a part of the French customs union now. That sounds amazing to me. They are in a civil war, but I think this sounds amazing to me. They are communist, I am communist, we love each other. Let's do this. The old order has to go. They have a lot more troops. They have a lot more troops here. But surely we are better. I can see that the trade unions want right of assembly. I'm not against this. We are definitely a democratic socialism example right here. I think we got this. If the Germans had shown up, this could have been dire. But as it stands, the monarchists are so divided, I think we can take full control of the Balkans in this war. Once we take over Greece, we got Greece, Bulgaria, ourselves, and we're basically the winners of this. It's just these numbers are insane. Look at this. They went from 426,000 to 320,000 in no time at all, whereas we can actually maintain our troops. Oh, and we actually did it. I forgot about this journal entry. The Workers' Republic, the workers of Yugoslavia, have finally overthrown the bourgeois government and established a council republic. But there's still far more work to be done before socialism has been truly achieved. As long as human labor, power, and consequently life itself remains articles of sale and purchase, of exploitation and robbery, the principle of the sacredness of human life remains a shameful lie, uttered with the object of keeping the oppressed slaves in their chains. I'm gonna be honest with you, we're gonna go with communist leaders here. We are a council republic in the truest sense of the word. We're democratic socialism. We are definitely not vanguardism. Instead, we're just gonna go with this right here. We shall be communists. This literally fits the entire bill. After we pass guaranteed liberties, we're going to remain a republic. We're going to remain a democracy of educated and very, very socialist workers. Just really take in these numbers. First of all, it says I'm the war leader for both. That's obviously not true, don't worry about that. But just take in these numbers, okay? It's devastating for them. We are on this side, just for the record, and this is them. Greece has become a communist vassal of ours. Nope, okay, that still needs some changing. Don't worry, Council Republic, there you go. They're gonna reform, it's gonna be fine. So what is then the future of this playthrough? We're not gonna continue it, obviously, but the future is essentially that we have a very strong monarchistic sort of angle. We have the French Commune and HUGE-O-SLAVIA, including all of its vassals in the Balkans, as the Communist Internationale. We have a rebellion brewing right here, look at that, in the United Sovereign Archduchy. This could become socialism, it could become communism, it could become fascism, quite frankly. The United States of America, not to do the Kaiserreich thing, but they are on the brink of a potential three-way civil war. At the same time, nothing in South America. It's South America, I mean, let's be real here. Then over here, it's very, very interesting. Italy is still technically a vanguard state, and you can see the Italian trade unionists are pushing for stuff, but not too long ago, Austria actually bullied them into implementing a government under the industrialists, which well, they are torn. They may fall into the liberal camp, or they may fall into our communist camp. And then, of course, we have the Kaiserreich, a constitutional monarchy. At Tsardom, we got a constitutional monarchy, HM's government, and so on. We have the potential for a blow-up here, you know, when it comes to the entire world between communism and the monarchy. But that is not a story for Victoria 3, primarily because, of course, Great Wars aren't really a thing at the moment in the game. I'm very happy. I am very happy. We build a HUGE-O-SLAVIA, thanks for the amazing market support, France, in Bulgaria, in Yugoslavia, in Greece. And I gotta tell you this straight up right now as well, we can build like crazy. That is just what happens when you have graduated taxation and so on. But I'm gonna leave you here, because I think at this point everything that I could do is said and done. I could conquer more from Austria and so on, but I would like to leave them as powerful as they are, so that, you know, in the hypothetical future they would be a genuine enemy. I had a great time with this. We're gonna be back in the full release starting on the 14th or the 15th or something. We're going to see how it goes, depending on when VTM is ready. And I'll see you there. Later, alligator.